Coming to you live from Ursprung Gymnasium at Baldwin-Wallace University. It's the championship game of the BW Holiday Invitational. The Baldwin-Wallace Yellow Jackets hosting the Loras Hawks, a team from the Iowa Intercollegiate Athletic Conference, and a team that played very well yesterday in a nice win over Loras. It should present quite a challenge for the undefeated Yellow Jackets, probably their best challenge to date. The 2016 BW Holiday Basketball Tournament is sponsored by Park Place Technologies, and BW also would like to thank BSN Sports Sales Pro Mick Carroll, who provided all the t-shirts for the teams in this tournament. Alongside Jeff Miller, I'm Brendan Gulick, and we have had 6 really entertaining games so far in this tournament. Honestly, don't think we could have asked for much more, and you've got 2 teams on the floor today that are definitely both capable of winning this game.
For sure, Brendan. I didn't think that after yesterday we could top what we had yesterday in close games and very competitive games, and right out of the gate a double overtime game in the women's side consolation game between Worcester and LaRoche, and LaRoche hangs on in double overtime to win that game. And then just right now before this game started, the consolation game of the men's tournament. Congratulations to Rose Holman, who came back from 15 points down late in, or mid-second half to top the Baldwin-Wallace Yellow Jackets. So it's been a fun 2 days, long, busy days for all of us here doing the broadcasts and stats, but been enjoyable.
LaRoche beat Worcester in double overtime 88-86, as you mentioned earlier. So LaRoche won the consolation game after losing to Loras yesterday 73-66. Lori Obendorf and Therese McMahon were just way too much for LaRoche to handle in the paint. Obendorf, who will wear number 50, she's a really good post player. Yesterday had 23 points and 16 rebounds. She was a perfect 6 of 6 from the floor, and she hit 11 of her 13 free throws. Loras did not miss a free throw until it was their 19th free throw of the game. They hit 25 of 27 in total in that win. Meanwhile, Baldwin-Wallace was really tested in the second half of the game. They actually fell behind by a point in the fourth quarter, and then the Yellow Jackets exploded forward, and they went on a 14-0 run and won the semifinal game over Worcester 76-61. So Baldwin-Wallace with a 15-point win, and they took care of Worcester in order to get to this spot and to stay undefeated. Looks like we will have a national anthem before our championship game, so we'll take a quick timeout and bring in the starting lineups when we come back. It's Loras and Baldwin-Wallace in the title game next on BWYellowJackets.com. Let's give you the starting lineups before the championship game this evening. Baldwin-Wallace hosting Loras College for the first time ever And BW is going to have their hands full, despite the fact that they are the unbeaten team. 10-0 to start the season, trying to get to 11-0 and match a team from a few years ago, Jeff, that had basically been off to the last best start in school history.
They are an impressive running team right now that nobody expected this out of a young team that you have 2 seniors that you're going to rely on, but the amount of freshman talent that came in, you didn't see it. The Yellow Jackets coming out 10-0 to begin a year. And yes, they played some teams that aren't of the caliber, but you do schedule whoever you schedule, and this is going to be their toughest challenge of the year so far in their final non-conference game of the 2016-17 season.
For some historical perspective, when was the last time the Jackets started a season with an unbeaten record this long?
2005-06, so about 10-11 seasons ago, they started the season off 9-0, 11. I think they went 11-0 actually to start the year. Then they lost 2, ran 13 more off, and they won 22 of their first 24 games, and ended that year 27-3 in the Sweet 16, I believe, in the national tournament.
Wow, well, it just goes to show this is a BW team that is looking forward to a different kind of test today because they've had such a terrific season. For head coach Sherry Harrer in her 27th season, freshman Casey Hughes, senior Sydney Clark, junior Katie Smith, senior Mackenzie Colombo, and senior Clara Lemon will be the 5 starters, but you'll see a good 10 or 12 in that rotation for the Jackets. For the Loras College Dewhawks, and believe me, yeah, they're 6-5, but this team played really well yesterday, and if they play today like they did yesterday, it's going to be a great championship game. Junior Miranda Chapman, senior Kat Cabrera, junior Sierra Hutchins, and then senior forwards Therese McMahon and Lori Obendorf will start for head coach Justin Heinzen. Loras will be in their purple tops and purple shorts with gold numbers. BW is the home team. They are the host of the tournament. White tops, white shorts with brown numbers, gold lettering trimmed in brown.
Going to be a very successful 8-hour trip back home for Loras if they would end the championship here. Like you said, 6-5 is very deceiving. We thought, looking at it coming in too, that this team, the teams coming in weren't having winning records like BW, and what were we going to expect? And boy, did Loras and LaRoche just blow our doors off right away in that first quarter.
Both teams won exciting games, but decisive final scores yesterday. And so we're off and running in the third game of the day, game 7 of 8 in the BW Holiday Invitational. The only game left after this, the men's championship to follow. And that will start approximately 7:30. Katie Smith in the left corner for the Jackets gives up top to her freshman teammate Casey Hughes. And Sydney Clark throws up a triple.
Something that the Jackets are going to have to do right away is come out strong against this team with Obendorf and McMahon down low, that they're going to have their test because we're not as tall as them.
BW with an early 3-0 lead. McMahon tried the turnaround. It didn't work out for her, but the offensive rebound to Lori Obendorf. Obendorf and McMahon at 6'2" and 5'10" are going to present some problems. In fact, there's a couple of 6-footers on this team. We also saw Kennedy Wolford. She stands at 6'2" as well. She came off the bench yesterday. Kat Cabrera played exceptional basketball yesterday afternoon. She misses the runner there along the baseline. It was fun to watch Cabrera yesterday as she really got into a groove.
She can handle the rock, and she's a great distributor, but she's everywhere on this floor. And she's one that is going to give trouble to the Jacket guards.
Cabrera played 36 minutes yesterday with 7 to shoot. A 3-ball for Clara Lemon makes it 6-0.
That's going to be one advantage that the Jackets do have with their big player in Clara Lemon, who will go outside and shoot threes. Obendorf didn't really come out to give her any contention, so she wants to stay down in the paint.
BW with a couple early deep balls has a 6-0 lead and a steal in the paint. Kat Cabrera with the turnover. Yesterday, 8 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2 steals as Cabrera stuffed the stat sheet. Clark jump passes. Mackenzie Colombo. It's 8-0 BW.
Already seeing that the starters today are doing more than they really did early yesterday. Didn't really get that spark until Hannah Feck came off the bench.
Lemon with a steal and a layup. BW 10, Loras nothing. 2.5 minutes in, and it is all Yellow Jackets. This is the exact same run that the Baldwin-Wallace men's team started with just one game ago. They were up 10-0 to start the game. Obendorf banks one home and puts a brakes on BW's runaway train.
Just the start that Coach Hare wanted, not the one Coach Heisen wanted.
A lot of game in front of us. Colombo, the senior, such an important piece for the Yellow Jackets. She is as smart as she is talented. Katie Smith tried a triple. That one didn't go in. Sydney Clark tried to run it down. Here's Cabrera in the forecourt. Looking into the post where McMahon goes to work on Smith. She had the size advantage, but forced a miss.
Really big mismatch there. Now they switched it finally because Oppendorf was against Katie Smith. That would have been just like going against a Little Tykes basketball and laying it over.
Lemon and Clark, certainly the two biggest Jackets on the floor. Hutchins with a strong move in the paint. Look at that. Protecting the basketball and finishing high off the window.
Katie Smith's going to have her hands full with Hutchins because Hutchins is a dynamic player that likes to move.
Lemon almost connected on her second triple. Cabrera coast to coast, and she's fouled. No, she commits the foul. Kat Cabrera lowers the shoulder and draws the whistle. Tony Capasso, our head referee, made the decision. He's assisted today by Ty Kovac and Simone Gels.
Great defense there by Mackenzie Colombo. Took the charge, and before even that, she blocked the shot too, so she was right there in good position.
First 4 minutes of the game have gone well for the Jackets. Hannah Feck checks in along with Riley Schill. Each of them played very well yesterday. In fact, Fecht, F-E-C-H-T, that's how you spell her last name. Fecht was tremendous, one of the best games of her young career.
First career double-double.
Schill attacks and scores. 12-4, Riley Schill with her first two.
One of the freshmen that I mentioned early in pregame about not thinking that this team would be as great, and she charges hard.
Hutchins misses the layup. Fortuitous rebound, at least initially, hit off McMahon. Then it was deflected out of bounds, and McMahon is vocally upset. Here comes Erin Weaver, a 5'9" forward who plays even a little bigger than that. She's not afraid to stick her nose into traffic.
This is going to be a pretty good matchup that I'd like to watch the rest of the day, too, is Fecht and Hutchins.
Late foul call on Riley Schill as she slid over to try and help. Forced a miss from Obendorf, but Laurie's going to go to the free throw line. 12-4 near the middle of the first quarter as Sherry Harrer paces up and down her sideline. Obendorf yesterday was nearly perfect. Only missed 2 of her 13 free throws, and she did not miss from the floor. Sydney Clark checks out. Tiffany Bentler on the floor now, along with Lemon, Fecht, Colombo, and Riley Schill. I like the energy from the Jackets in the early going. Lemon had another open look, chose not to take it. 10 on the shot clock. Fecht is open. Just a little too strong.
Got the look she wanted, just didn't hit it.
It's dribbled off of Lauren Stanich's foot. She's a new face out on the floor tonight. Hutchins needs some help. She throws to Addie Oberman. Oberman looking behind her, passes back to Hutchins with 10 on the counter. Stanich needs some help. A bunch up around the arc, 3 to shoot it. Oberman is fouled. Riley Schill bails her out. And Riley Schill's picked up 2 fouls in the first couple minutes of the ball game. That brings Mackenzie Matthews off the bench and will probably mean Matthews sees pretty meaningful minutes today.
Rachel Walmendorf, the sophomore guard out of Lewis Center, Ohio, or sophomore forward out of Lewis Center, Ohio, checked in for Lemon, and then another freshman guard from Copley, Ohio, and Akron Archbishop Hoban, Kara Marshall, checked in for Colombo.
So Marshall and Matthews both will play guard. Fecht will slide down to the 3. Bentler a forward as well. And it goes out of bounds. Honestly, there's not a lot of size with this group for Baldwin Wallace. So at the moment, a definite advantage in the interior for Loras. It's BW leading 12-6.
Walmendorf is going to be the biggest player on the floor, and she's going to have a big game like she did yesterday.
Walmendorf played terrific basketball one night ago. Matthews at the point. This is Bentler passing to Marshall. Great ball handling by Kara Marshall into the lane for an open layup.
She's been struggling just a little bit the last few weeks here and looking to get back into that talent that she was one of the better players coming out of the Akron Seminole County area.
Offensive foul away from the ball. And the volume in the gymnasium continues to stay at a pretty high level. The Jacket fans are certainly supporting this early run by BW. Kat Cabrera returns. Hutchins, Weaver, Obendorf, and Oberman. The 5 on the floor for Loras. Good zone defense.
Yeah, I was going to say the Duhawks definitely read their playbook here to guard the three-point arc on the Jackets.
5 to let it go, and a foul deep in the shot clock. So we've seen that on both sides now. Defenses with good, strong efforts for most of the shot clock, and then kind of bailing things out.
Fast start for both teams, and then you get a little slow pace here. Not many points being scored after that 10-0 and 4-0 run for either team.
Rachel Walmendorf makes it 16-6, and now a foul away from the basketball again. All right, so 6 fouls in the opening 7 minutes as Walmendorf picks up her first.
We didn't have but 3 fouls or 4 fouls in the first half of the men's game combined. We already got that more in 7 minutes.
McMahon comes back in the game, and it's Addie Oberman that misses from right underneath the rack. Fecht with the rebound. BW has hit 7 of their first 10 shots. Make it 7 of 11, but Walmendorf there for his second opportunity. That's the first offensive rebound for BW. Late first quarter, Jackets by 10. Fecht can't make it 13, and Bentler couldn't pull it in.
Fecht off to a slow start so far, hasn't found her rhythm.
No, but a shooter with as much talent as her, you'd like to see her continue to let it go for a little bit. Another Yellow Jacket foul. This time it's on Bentler. And Mackenzie Colombo returns. Meanwhile, Reagan Friend, the sophomore from Gilbert, Arizona, makes her first appearance of the game. Friend has those light powder blue sneakers on. Pass goes into the backcourt. Not touched, so that's okay. Cabrera, Friend, Weaver, McMahon, and Oberman. A steal from Mackenzie Matthews. Kara Marshall, not fouled. Cabrera trying to beat everybody back up the floor the other way.
She's going to have some trouble getting past Matthews, though.
Friend for 3. Follows her own shot, and she missed the layup, too. There's a foul called, and I think it's on the shot attempt.
It's going to go on Walmendorf, and that's going to be her second.
So Rachel Walmendorf and Riley Schill, both with 2 early fouls. We are not yet through the first quarter. First free throw is up and good for Reagan Friend. We'll see how that plays out. I think it's going to put some more pressure on Katie Smith to play well as she checks back in. Sydney Clark re-enters the game as well. And as you mentioned, Hannah Fecht probably needs to get going. Colombo, Smith, Clark, Lemon, and Fecht out there right now. After the miss, an offensive rebound keeps it alive. The consolation game on the women's side went to double overtime, a thrilling affair. So far, BW out in front by 9 here at home. Cabrera's pass to the paint deflected, and it's out of bounds.
Both teams are a little jittery at the start of this game with composure. Both are turning, not keeping their defense, losing balls that they should be picking up.
Friend back to Cabrera with 7 on the shot clock. Got a high screen. She's got to shoot it, and she didn't get it off. Great defense by the Yellow Jackets, but maybe a little bit of that was a mental lapse from Cabrera.
Almost thought Lemon jumped when Cabrera kind of faked her, went up. I thought that gave her the opening, but Cabrera took an extra dribble and didn't realize that the shot was going to expire.
2-1-2 zone defense for Loras. They are really protecting the perimeter as best they can. Lemon's got an opening underneath. You don't need to shoot well around the perimeter when you find looks that close to the basket. Baldwin-Wallace by 11 points. Biggest lead of the game. 7 already for Lemon. Friend works the middle of the paint. It's McMahon receiving the pass. Colombo gets in there and steals it away.
Great backside help there by Colombo. Her hands are always moving.
Miranda Chapman is on the floor as well for Loras. She checked in a few minutes ago. Shot clock is at 16. Another ball loose, and everybody piles on top of it. Shot clock now is turned off, and it goes back to Loras.
Oberman checking back in for the Dewhawks, and Hughes will be back in for the Yellow Jackets.
I think it's Syria Hutchins that just checked back in for Loras with a couple of post players. McMahon and Obendorf both down there, and Hutchins comes over from the scorers table.
Starters are back on the floor, right?
Cabrera and Chapman back out there as well. All 5 starters for Loras.
All 5 for the Jackets, too.
Chapman has to come back to it. Running out of time. Hutchins forces. No good. Lemon the rebound. From half court, Casey Hughes off the mark. And the first quarter comes to a close. Baldwin-Wallace with their biggest lead of the game. It's 11 points. 18-7. They got off to a 10-0 start and have basically played even since then. The Yellow Jackets, through 1 quarter of the championship game, are out in front at home on BWYellowJackets.com. A lopsided first quarter between Baldwin-Wallace and Loras has given BW an early 11-point lead. 8 turnovers already for the Loras Dewhawks. It's turned into 12 Yellow Jacket points, 12 of their 18. Baldwin-Wallace is shooting it at he has 2 shots from the floor. They need to get it going quickly. Lemon kind of faded away and lost a little mustard on that shot. And so the Jackets go back defensively.
Yellow Jackets playing great defense, but the Dewhawks are not going to continue to shoot 22% from the field.
Not when they work the ball underneath the basket consistently the way they do. Hutchins called for the travel, so it'll go back the other way. Yeah, I have to think that with the success we've seen from those post players, it can't be that I just don't think we're going to see that consistently.
After yesterday's explosion in the first quarter, and they only scored 7 today, yeah, I don't keep your heels up, Yellow Jackets, because the Duhawks will be flying real quickly.
Colombo for 3 makes it 21-7. BW's scored 5 consecutive points to balloon the lead to a game-high 14. Colombo with 5 so far in this one. Kat Cabrera with 8 to shoot. Pulls up from the right baseline. It was a good look. Weak side rebound came to Baldwin Wallace guard Katie Smith. Clark down the lane and in for 2 more. 23-7, and right now, this 16-point deficit is the largest lead that any team has had at any point. This is a lopsided championship game right now. Cabrera on the right wing. Circled around and she charged.
Definitely, I'm just shocked at what's going on right now, because obviously this is what you see out of the Yellow Jackets, but the Duhawks, they scored 26 points yesterday in the first quarter, only to have 7. So maybe the jitters of the championship game, you know, final day here in Berea, you know, didn't get off to the start they want. So I wouldn't be too scared. Be ready that, you know, this game's far from over.
Well, they've gone into a 2-3 zone now instead of a 2-1-2 box. Although I'll tell you this too, Jeff, I wonder if it's less jitters and maybe more just playing on back-to-back days, and you had an emotion-filled game yesterday. Today you got to play the home team in the tournament who's unbeaten this year. 4 to shoot. Hughes fakes, goes to Clark, who just throws it at the rim, and Lemon fell behind. Loras is off and running. Another turnover. That's the 11th giveaway for Loras. BW's only turned it over 1 time. And so far they have 15 points off the first 10 takeaways. Unbelievable. Loras is not going to compete if they keep shooting themselves in the foot.
And shooting themselves in the foot of those 11 turnovers, only 4 have been BW steals, so that's telling you they're not handling the rock.
Unforced errors, most coaches will tell you, are just unacceptable. Clark for 3. It's too long. Lemon fought for the rebound, but she was not going to pull that in around Obendorf, who just picked away her 4th board. 23-7. BW's given up 7 points in over 13 minutes.
They've had a few games this year that they've only, the one that sticks out the most to me is Alfred early in November or late November. They only gave up 2 points in a quarter.
McMahon finally forced one up and in. McMahon's first points of the game. Couple of players waiting to check in at the next dead ball. I imagine BW will continue to try and work that shot clock and get the ball in the low post. Clara Lemon forces Obendorf to come out a little as Hughes tries a triple, and that one's as pure as it gets. 26-9.
Hughes is starting to come into her own as she gets more and more confidence. She's been a starter since she stepped on the floor here this season, but she's getting more confidence as an offensive player.
3 ball up and good for Lauren Stanich. It's cut into the lead a little, 26-12. Lemon blocked underneath. That's what Obendorf. Anyways, 28-12. Loras has taken literally half the shots that BW has, because they've turned it over 11 times. They've got a steep uphill climb.
And checking in for the Yellow Jackets will be their tallest player in the junior post player, Megan Schubert.
Katie Smith contests a 3, but it doesn't matter for Miranda Chapman. 28-15, you're right, Megan Schubert might be a completely different matchup. A little different game there. Colombo for three. BW shooting Loras out of the gym.
30-second timeout coming from Coach Heinzen.
Loras trying to do anything they can to slow down the Jackets. Back in a moment, BW up by 16 at home.
Tonight's women's basketball Holiday Invitational Championship game being brought to you by the Cleveland Clinic Sports Health Division, the healthcare provider of BW Athletics, and the Crown Plaza in Middleburg Heights. When you're looking for a quality place before or after any Yellow Jacket event, choose the Crown Plaza.
Loras down by 16 points with less than half the second quarter remaining. They need something to get rolling quickly. The three-point shot from the left corner did not go for Kelly Barzowski, senior guard who's making her first appearance of the game. Mackenzie Matthews slipped into an opening in the defense, but then rolled right to Addie Oberman, who tied her up. Kara Marshall replaces Casey Hughes, so it's Marshall, Schubert, Fecht, Bentler, and Matthews out there for BW. None of the starters, but this is a capable group for sure. Obendorf bullying Schubert for two.
Gonna see that all day between Obendorf and Schubert, because Obendorf definitely has the more muscular frame than Schubert.
Some of it's muscular, but I think some of it's just aggressiveness as Matthews puts up a rainbow three and missed it. Schubert certainly has the size to be an effective player, but Lori Obendorf plays with a different motor. Hopefully this will be a good test for Schubert. Jackets get the rebound going the other way. Nice feed into the left corner on that one-handed bounce pass. Schubert tries.
And the fact, too, that Obendorf plays consistently and Schubert is just a very limited reserve player for Coach Hare.
Feeding Obendorf once more, and she gets it to go.
Definitely who you want if you're a Duhawk fan.
Marshall passes in the first half. Bentler was absolutely clocked. Lori Obendorf basically playing rim protector. She commits her first personal. Team second of the quarter. BW. Colombo has 8, so does Obendorf, who's going to sit for a moment as Therese McMahon takes her spot. Somebody, Loras. And Bentler makes 1 out of 2. 32-19. Decent little stretch for Loras. They've closed the gap a bit after being down 17 points. At less than 3 minutes before halftime, they need something to get going their way, and they need it 5 minutes ago. McMahon against Schubert. And you wonder how much longer Schubert's going to stay in the post.
McMahon does that nice move. Said it yesterday, her bread and butter's to her left, but I think Schubert and Coach Hare and the staff knew that's where she likes to go. Bread and butter's to the left. She faked her left and went right up with the right hand, and was a beautiful move.
Schubert leaves the floor as Clara Lemon comes in. Mackenzie Colombo and Katie Smith both back in there too. And a few counter moves from Loras. Miranda Chapman back on there. Aaron Weaver, Therese McMahon, Addie Oberman, and Kelly Barzowski. Those are the 5 for Loras. Smith on the left wing. Skip past to Lemon for 3. Too strong.
Got a nice pick, the screen there from Mackenzie Colombo, and didn't move, so it wasn't moving.
Lemon poked it free for a second. Oberman really trying to find a lane to get it to Weaver. 8 to let it fly. Oberman, oh, she got an opening and she couldn't hit it. And a foul on Loras sends the basketball back the other direction.
Yeah, missed the shot and then commits the foul.
So Baldwin Wallace ran out to an early 10-0 lead, and they have maintained that margin. Mackenzie Colombo is going to go shoot 2 free throws. She might have been a little out of control in the lane, but the defender definitely was not set.
And the person that you do not want to send to the foul line for, if you're Loras, is Mackenzie Colombo, and especially late in quarters and games.
Automatic. Here comes Sydney Clark for Hannah Fecht. I think Fecht has played okay. She just isn't shooting the ball well. But she certainly is helping move the ball on offense. And she's giving pretty good effort defensively tonight. Colombo's shot on both of them gives BW a 34-21 edge. Less than 2 minutes before halftime. Weaver's turnaround is too short. Tries to run down her own rebound, falls on it. I wonder if Loras may have been trying to call for a timeout. The possession arrow goes BW's way. It was quickly called a jump ball, but I'm surprised Weaver wasn't trying to ask for the timeout.
In the 2 games today, I would like to build a team around Weaver and Kylie Orr just for their tenacity and hustle, getting on the floor, getting after loose balls, being in the way. Those are players that you want to build a team around.
Kylie Orr from the College of Worcester had a tremendous game. She and Tashina Mitchell, both all-tournament team honorees. Sydney Clark in the lane got, I should say, may have committed the foul. She sure did. Her first. BW leads by 13, but Loras is playing a much more competitive second quarter. They haven't turned the ball over 1 time in the last 8 minutes. Skip pass over the top of the defense. Took too long to get to Cabrera. McMahon working around Lemon, and it fell off. But she got her own rebound and put it in.
That was her bread and butter move, and it didn't fall. I don't know how it didn't go in, but then there she was to scoop it up and put it right back in.
It was most of the way down. Kara Marshall gives to Colombo. 8-second difference between game and shot clock. Katie Smith slips through the defense, had it jarred out of her hand. No foul. Loras can take the last shot if they want it, down by 11. A single-digit deficit would feel a lot better going into the locker room. Aaron Weaver attacking. Swatted away by Lemon. Clark chucks it, but it doesn't matter. Well, Baldwin Wallace leads by 11 going into halftime. And you could make the argument that the 10-0 run to start the first 2.5 minutes of the game is the biggest reason why. BW 34, Loras 23. Your thoughts on the first half?
Thought it was going to be a runaway there, and Loras decided to show the team that we saw yesterday in that second quarter. Composure came back, shots were falling down, defense was there, and it wasn't from their main starters, that, you know, not their 2 keys. I mean, McMahon is going off a little bit here, and Obendorf is on the bench, but you're getting some sparks from other people that you normally didn't see yesterday, and not right away. But yeah, that 10-0 start really did hurt the Dewhawks.
BW leads by 11. You can check out all the live stats along with our broadcast on BWYellowJackets.com. Second half's about 15 minutes away, and we'll have it here live from Ursprung Gymnasium. BW's halfway home to a tournament championship. 34-23 over Loras College, who played a much better second half after the first half, or I should say second quarter, after the first quarter really got away from them early on. If you joined us late, I'm Brendan Gulick alongside Jeff Miller. Happy to have you along for Game 3 of the day and Game 7 of 8 over the two-day Holiday Invitational Tournament. It's been a busy couple days at BW, and we've been really fortunate to watch some high-quality basketball. Loras in purple, BW in white, playing at home. Obendorf played a nice role in the first half. This is a three ball from the right corner, and it popped away for Kelly Barzowski. No good. Sydney Clark in the forecourt, and the Yellow Jackets, who got a nice contribution from Clara Lemon in the first half, 9 points, 4 rebounds. Mackenzie Colombo, the only double-figure scorer on the floor. That one was missed by Lemon. Nice skip pass over the top of the defense. Three ball coming, it just rimmed away. Not a bad effort, but Chapman couldn't finish it off. She's got one in this ball game. I should specify one three-pointer.
Both teams playing a little cold out of the gate here.
It's all right, I kind of like the energy though. And you'll notice Loras is in a man-to-man defense after spending most of the first half in his own. 34-23. BW trying to figure out what matchups they most like. There's a good work toward McMahon, and Colombo just ripped it out of her hands. Let's go in the other direction.
The all-around player. She just doesn't score or dish the ball out. She's everywhere for the Yellow Jackets in the senior point guard.
BW shot it at a 43% clip in the first half. 5 of 13 from beyond the three-point line.
Loras did out-rebound the Jackets by 10 in the first half.
They also turned it over 10 more times. Hughes. No room to go through Stanich. 2 to shoot. Lemon was there. She never hit the rim. That's a shot clock violation. Good defense by Loras. They have come out in the second half looking a little more like the team we saw yesterday. Center hardware maintenance and support. Nice move by McMahon, and it's a 34-25 affair.
Back to her bread and butter. I'm not knocking it. That's the only thing she does, but that is a potent play that McMahon takes it to the hole with.
Mackenzie Colombo with the first points in the second half. It's an 11-point game once more. Yellow Jackets 10-0, folks. They have not lost once in the 2016-2017 season. McMahon, she got away with a walk. It didn't work out for her. Here comes Clark, zipping the floor the other direction. And a blocking foul called as Hughes was denied an entry pass to the lane.
Riley Schill checking back in for the Yellow Jackets after a long break of picking up 2 early fouls in the first quarter.
You mentioned Riley Schill's 2 early fouls. She only played 2 minutes the entire first half. She never returned. Clark's jumper doesn't go.
A foul a minute. And then
in the left corner, Loras gets the ball to McMahon. And it doesn't drop in. Close though.
I think Barzowski checked back in for the Duhawks too. Trying to figure out who came in. They're going to have Fecht and Hutchinson and Weaver going to check back in for Loras after the foul shots.
We're shot up and good.
Did he just
Tell me you heard that.
Did he just call her trifecta?
Oh my goodness. The public address announcer just announced Hannah Fecht as Hannah Trifecta.
He's getting a little loose in the 7th game here today.
Oh my gosh. That's funny. That's original.
But here, after those pair of free throws, Loras continuing to shoot the ball well after that 25 of 27 performance yesterday. Now 5 of 6 from the line.
They just don't miss the free ones. Sydney Clark fouled in the act of shooting.
And that's one thing the Jackets have to think about. Can't foul these teams and let no time come off the clock, because they're going to put themselves right back in this or ahead of you real quick.
Sydney Clark buries the first one, no problem. It's a 10-point game. Third quarter of tonight's basketball game brought to you by the Oriole Cafe. Great place for sports, just 2 minutes up the street. 294 North Rocky River Drive. 294 North Rocky River Drive. Make note of the address if you haven't been there. Great burgers, great beer. It's a great place. Good chicken wings, too. You ever had them?
Yes, I have, Brendan.
They're terrific. Underneath, Therese McMahon lays it home. 38 to 29. The Buffalo Burger, probably my favorite, though. Gotta have the Buffalo Burger at the Oriole.
You definitely have done too many games with a veteran broadcaster by the name of Ryan
McNaughton.
I'm pretty sure he's the one that has made every comment about the Buffalo Burger on every broadcast he's ever done for the Yellow Jackets.
Oh, man. Well, if we get snowed out for the 4th and final game of the day, give Ryan a call and tell him to come on hang out tomorrow.
I think if we get snowed out, he's not making it from Niles here to have chicken wings and Buffalo Burger.
40 to 29, Mackenzie Colombo's got 13 points. Folks, after 7 games, you get a little loose. That's okay. They did pay for the official sponsorship. So we're going to give them all the love they can handle. Clark checks out, so it's Fecht, Schill, Colombo, Lemon, and Marshall for Sherry Harrer's undefeated Jackets. Chapman leaves the floor as Oberman returns. She's out there with McMahon, Weaver, Cabrera, and Hutchins. And now Rachel Wommeldorf, who also had 2 early fouls, comes back in.
With only 2 minutes played as well, so a minute of foul there. They did well. They were trying to foul people, hack-a-shack type of style.
Wommeldorf and Schill both played really well yesterday, but they essentially were non-existent in the first half today. Fecht for 3. Trifecta.
I guess that's all it took for Hannah to hear her trifecta nickname now.
43-29. That's her first basket of the whole game.
And Loras has been playing well, and to try to keep this game close. Just a couple threes here and there, and back up to a 14-point lead. And Wommeldorf has not been on the floor but 30 seconds and picked up her 3rd.
Well, she's going to stay in the game. They need her to play well. Colombo checks out for the moment. McMahon scoops and scores. 43-31. And we got a timeout. 4:07 left, third quarter. BW by 12 in the championship game of their hosted tournament. Baldwin Wallace by 12 in the championship game. Late third quarter, playing pretty well. Mackenzie Matthews gets a high screen from Wommeldorf and passes left side to Schill. An effect up top. Man-to-man defense the whole third quarter from Loras. 5 to shoot. Matthews almost put in a silly looking layup.
Yeah, Loras
Good effort.
Yeah, Loras went to that man-to-man pretty much late in the second quarter, so they've found something they think works against this Jacket offense.
Weaver underneath to McMahon. One tough dribble and a layup that missed. BW is trying to get to 11-0 for the first time in over a decade, but they've got work to do. That one's jarred loose in the paint after Marshall's missed 3. BW's 12-point lead is due in large part to their protecting the ball, even though they've only shot it at a 40% ratio. 3 turnovers. They've forced 15, and they've cashed those 15 takeaways into 20 points. Riley Schill was blocked from behind. That was a nice play from Oberman.
Great defensive backside help there by Oberman.
Cabrera tried to get it into Obendorf, but it didn't work. Oh, it was kicked away. Head coach Justin Heinzen just kind of pacing up and down the sideline. 3 ball from Matthews, too long. Oberman the rebound. Cabrera fakes high, bounces low, and Obendorf scores right over the top of Wommeldorf.
That was a well-defended ball by the Yellow Jackets, but that was just a pretty little move by Obendorf. She's a player that a lot of the teams in this conference in the OAC would love to have.
Speaking of players you'd love to have, how about Rachel Wommeldorf? 45-33. She's got 4 points, but giving it everything she's got in limited time tonight. Less than 2 minutes left in the third quarter of our championship game. And Obendorf couldn't get it to drop home.
I think Womendorf got away with a swipe on her, and Coach Heinzen wasn't too happy about that.
Almost a bad pass. Riley Schill hanging tough. Fecht for 3, and she's got another. 48-33, BW's up by 15. Kat Cabrera too easy, but she blew the layup. Weaver's putback spins home.
Solid rebound. She went up. Obendorf and her were both there. Nobody home for the Jackets.
Offensive foul on Baldwin Wallace. It's on Mackenzie Matthews. Well, good minutes there from, let's see, Marshall, Wommeldorf, and Matthews. Colombo, Lemon, and who else came on? Sydney Clark. All 3 of them take the minutes there. Loras basketball down 13. Well, Obendorf may have gotten away with a travel. Thought she could have picked up that pivot foot. It was close.
Well, this is what I was about to say, that, you know, need a little run here to go out of the third quarter, and who are you going to feed but your player that's been having a great tournament.
Mackenzie Colombo misses the layup. 12 points for Obendorf, leads the way for Loras. Actually, I beg your pardon, leads the scoring on the floor, but Therese McMahon has 14. Sydney Clark steals one away. Great jump stop, and she was fouled in the act. Sydney Clark to shoot 2 free throws. Waning seconds of the third quarter with the shot clock now turned off. Sydney Clark up and good. You start thinking about what kind of combinations of players might be vying for spots on the all-tournament team. Of course, they're not thinking about it on the floor, but Mackenzie Colombo with double figures in both games, as Sydney Clark puts in both free throws. I think Sydney Clark's playing pretty well for the second straight day. She's got 9 points. It's 50-37.
Without a doubt, you know who the two are for Loras under consideration. They're Twin Towers leading scorers.
And McMahon and Obendorf have certainly done their part. Nobody else, by the way, has more than 3 points for Loras, so quite literally they've done everything together. Final possession of the third quarter, perhaps. Stanich missed it on the baseline. Clark, the half-court heave. Just short.
It was on line, but just fell short of the rim.
At the end of the third quarter, it's Baldwin-Wallace 50, Loras 37. BW outscored Loras in the third quarter there by just a point or two, and they've got a 13-point lead. I guess it was technically 2 points, right? 16-14 as we go to the fourth quarter. Jackets are 10 minutes away from a tournament title on BWYellowJackets.com. Loras basketball to start the fourth quarter. We've got one more game after this one tonight. It's the men's championship between Madai and Adrian. But another good contest here in front of us. Loras down 13. Colombo starting to play like a real piece. Boy, what effort in the backcourt.
Reigning Ohio Athletic Conference Player of the Week, because we took the conference week off because of the holidays. Couldn't get that out, sorry.
Colombo for three. Boy, I'll tell you what, I know it's not over. There's still a lot of game in front of us, but Mackenzie Colombo is doing everything she can to cement her name as the tournament MVP. Colombo yesterday with 14 points, including a couple free throws to help seal it late. She did not turn the ball over one time yesterday and had 4 assists. Today, 17 points. She's just been on fire. It's 53-37.
Definitely cannot have a better senior year. She's career highs in everything. And it's just one of those years that she wants to go out. Most humble person you've even talked with.
I was just going to say, she's a better kid than she is a basketball player, and she's an all-conference performer on the court. Obendorf is fouled by Colombo, and it counts. (53-39). Obendorf with 14. The scoreboard in the stadium is crediting Colombo with 16 points, but she has 17 in the ballgame. 3 for 3 from beyond the three-point line, 2 for 2 from the free throw line, and 6 of 8 from the field in her team's championship effort. What more do you want? Had a career high 25 points against Heidelberg a couple of weeks ago. Early fourth quarter, and Clark just unleashes fury behind that ball.
And Loras went back to their zone 2-1-2, almost getting to the point of coming up the trap, almost have like a 2-1-2 trap.
Oberman looks into the paint. McMahon faces up. Lost the handle. Back to Oberman for an 18-footer, and she buries it. 5 unanswered points for Loras College. Here come the Jackets. Colombo's open underneath, and she finished again. 19 for Colombo.
Sat right in the middle of that zone and waited for the pass.
What a day for the Baldwin Wallace senior. Obendorf sets the screen after passing the ball. 10 to shoot it. And a foul called as Hutchins went hard to the rack.
Not only is BW vying for its own championship, it would be the only tournament they're going to compete in other than their conference tournament this year.
Well, the free throw's no good, and that's a rare miss for Loras.
Just their second of the game.
Yep, here comes Tiffany Bentler. Loras is 6 of 8 from the line today after going 25 of 27 yesterday. That one fell off, it missed 2.
Including that impressive 19 straight.
Bentler works into Lemon, who's double teamed. Good ball movement around the perimeter. Bentler's open for a triple. As pure as it gets.
Another freshman coming into her own as
18-point game. And Lemon hit Obendorf around the perimeter. Loras, of the 440 teams that play Division III women's basketball, they are the 7th best free throw shooting team in the country. So to see them miss a couple of key free throws here is unlike them.
And I bet that's going to go up after this weekend.
Got a lot of free throw makes.
Well-coached team there for sure.
There's a travel, and it's going the other way.
Reagan Friend back in for the Dewhawks and Riley Schill back in for the Jackets.
BW's largest lead was 26-9 early in the second quarter until now. Now it's an 18-point game. Katie Smith puts BW way out in front. 3 ball from Friend is off to the right. The Yellow Jackets can smell a victory. A 3 for Bentler, and it pops away.
For those of you who are not here, if you would not know that they're not related, Schill and Bentler almost look identical when you see them out on the court.
They sure do. A turnaround right-hander up and good.
McMahon trying to get her team pumped up after that pass. She's like, we're still in this, let's go.
A competitive player for sure as Bentler misses another one. Lemon tried to force it in the second time. It didn't go then either. Not a surprise to see BW shooting a lot of threes. They've hit 9 in this game, averaging 8 a game, and that's actually top 20 in the country. So true to form here in this tournament title game. Riley Schill got hit with a personal. It's her 3rd. Several subs here. Aaron Weaver comes back on. Lemon and Bentler leave, so it's Schill, Wommeldorf, Smith, Fecht, and Colombo for the ladies in white. Loras is in there visiting purple as Weaver takes the inbound. Feeds McMahon, and she got fouled. Oberman, Cabrera, and Reagan Friend, the other purple powers on the floor.
Tonight's BW Women's Basketball Championship game being brought to you by the University and by the Comfort Inn in Middelburg Heights, where comfort is just a part of the service we provide our guests. Also a nice shout out to the Comfort Inn for being the host hotel for the women's teams of the BW Holiday Invitational.
Fact grabs another miss. Can you believe it, Jeff? 4 misses in a row for Loras.
Not after yesterday. That's not something you see with that team, but good trap here in the corner by Loras to force a BW timeout.
We'll take it with him. BW by 16 with 5.5 minutes to go. BW basketball continues in the waning minutes of regulation. We're looking forward to talking with Sherry Harrer after the game. She usually stops by for a quick conversation, and we hope it's a joyful one before she gets a chance to address her team. It's a 16-point game. Katie Smith has to let it go, and it's in! 19-point lead. On the other end, McMahon doesn't finish. Colombo looking for Schill, made a bad pass but tried to run the ball down, and she committed a foul. Mackenzie Colombo's had a tremendous day with 19 points. Clara Lemon 9.7 rebounds today. That's after Lemon yesterday had 8 points, 4 rebounds. Hannah Fecht, 6 points today, 5 rebounds. She's only hit 2 of 6 shots, though, as the free throw goes. Yesterday, Hannah Fecht went 7 of 10 with 22 and 15. (63-46). BW is way out front. Seven to let it go. Fact. Not that time. Cabrera. Time's not on her side. She's trying to get something going on here, and McMahon's able to lay one in. So McMahon continues a nice afternoon. I guess now it'll be evening. She's got 18 points. McMahon and Obendorf have been a real heavy load. Nobody has scored more than 3 points outside of those two players. Friend, Chapman, Stanich all have 3. Weaver, Oberman, and Hutchins all have 2. Obendorf with 15 and McMahon with 18. That's how dominating those two have been. Foul's called on Loras. Goes on Reagan Friend. Lemon replaces Wommeldorf for a minute. And Loras is going to send Hannah Stokes. First time we've seen Hannah Stokes all game. Hannah Fecht buries a 3. 66-48. Three ball for Friend is good.
Number 5, Reagan, she's got a friend in 3.
BW just got hit with a travel coming back up the floor. Still a 15-point game, just over 3 minutes left. A reminder that we have one more game coming up if you're just joining us. The Adrian Bulldogs will play the Madai Mavericks in the championship game of our men's Holiday Invitational. Weaver finally puts in her second bucket. BW is struggling to break this press right now, and Loras is keeping this game alive. Right corner, three ball. It's good. Addie Oberman makes it 66-56. 2:44 to go. A blatantly quick 8-0 run, and all of a sudden it's a 10-point game.
Nice comeback here for the Duhawks. You know, thought this game was pretty much just cruise to the finish line, and they're going to make sure that BW is going to earn this championship, or they're going to try and come back and take it from them.
So after the 30-second timeout, BW only has 2 remaining.
Tonight's championship game being brought to you by the Cleveland Clinic Sports Health Division, the healthcare provider of BW Athletics. By American International, when you require a company with proven performance, rely on American International. And by the Crown Plaza in Middleburg Heights, when you're looking for a quality place to stay before or after any Yellow Jacket contest, choose the Crown Plaza.
BW by 10 as Colombo nearly lost it. Goes to Sydney Clark on the left wing. Back to the right side now. 8 to shoot it for Matthews. 3 balls good! Mackenzie Matthews. 69-56, her first basket of the game.
And it couldn't.
Kat Cabrera bounces it over. Obendorf back to her with under 2 minutes to play. Foul called. Wow. I don't usually publicly disagree, but I think that was not the right call. Obendorf is going to shoot a couple free throws. I'm not sure what more you wanted out of Clara Lemon. But she defended that as well as she could have.
I guess the only other option was to get out of the way.
Well, 16 points for the senior forward from Naperville, Illinois. Second one's good too. 69-58. It's the violation.
Nice shield by Matthews, knowing Obendorf was coming to swat her right out of the arena here, and shielded her off, waited for her, got the bump, and still almost got it in to fall.
Let's talk a little bit about BW here, Jeff, as Matthews misses the first free throw. And what they've got ahead of them. Next 3 conference games are really going to test them with Mount Union, Wilmington, and the nationally ranked and also undefeated Ohio Northern Polar Bears.
Tough stretch always. I mean, the OAC is always tough. You never know who's going to be at the top. And Wilmington, that has knocked BW off the last few years in this building, too. So it's been late in the season, knock them off. They go on the road to Wilmington. They're home Wednesday night for Mount Union, who wherever, for whatever reason, Mount Union gives BW in every sport a headache for whatever reason. Geographically, John Carroll obviously is our crosstown rival in the conference, but Mount Union pulls from the same areas John Carroll and BW for their athletes, and it turns into, these kids know each other, and it turns into a battle. Obviously, what's there to say about a nationally ranked team? They're going to come in here seeking revenge because BW knocked them out of the conference tournament in the semifinals last year when they had only lost 3 games, I think, going into that game.
Wow, Northern still got into the NCAA tournament through an at-large bid, but that is certainly going to be on their mind in a couple weeks.
And it's going to be a rematch on Wednesday between Mount Union and BW from the OAC Tournament Championship game that was won by Mount Union in a very
Sydney Clark circling around. BW with 6 to shoot it, but they got a 12-point lead. Clark had to heave. No good. The offensive putback had effect. 72-58. Never gave up on the play.
the intangibles that she has picked up in the off season this year. She's not just becoming a sharpshooter, she wants to do everything for this team.
Reagan Friend with a layup, 72-60. And BW is going to win the Holiday Invitational in their inaugural hosting of this event. And on top of that, Jeff, they're going to be 11.
Road ahead of them, and let's see what happens. It's going to be a thrilling year, and I mean, nothing against. I know we're talking about the home squad here, but Loras is going to have a great year too, and I wouldn't want to face them down the road either.
Well, we said it in pregame. Had a feeling this could be one of the toughest tests that BW has faced all season, and Loras really made them work for it. But the Jackets claim the tournament title. There's the horn, the final score, 72-60. Congratulations to Baldwin Wallace. They are 11-0. Well, Jackets.com.
She just got one, so.
All right, our post-game interview here with head coach Sherry Harrer. Congratulations on the tournament championship.
Thank you very much.
And the 11-0 start. I know you don't want to be too reflective on the season as a whole because it's always one game at a time, but it's got to feel pretty good where this team's at right now.
We were so much better tonight than last night. And our goal is to get better every day, whether it be practice or games. So I'm really pleased with how we played tonight. We took a step forward from yesterday.
Loras College yesterday, I thought, showed an awful lot. And I expected that their size was going to be a big test today for your team. Until the last few minutes of the game, basically nobody scored other than their two post players. How did you game plan for that?
Well, the whole thing is our posts do a pretty good job, but they can't do it alone. We need to get backside help, and we have to have ball pressure to make those passes take longer to get in there so our posts have time to get in a good position. And our guards did a better job of that today.
Early in the game, Loras kind of shot themselves in the foot a few times. They finished with 20 turnovers, and it seemed like almost every time you cashed that in for something on the offensive end. How important is it for you guys to establish that momentum early in the game?
It's always important. I don't think there's any time where it's not good to establish momentum. But obviously coming out and hitting shots, we got feeling good about ourselves, and that really helps us to continue to do that.
There's nothing wrong with a 10-0 start to open things up in a championship game.
Yeah.
That'll make you feel good. Before we let you go, because this is the last game of the 2016 part of the season, and the Jackets are 11-0, undefeated this long for the first time in over a decade, I'm not asking you to compare teams, now versus where they've been before, but where you expected this team to be in terms of their growth. How pleased are you, and where do you expect they can still be?
I think overall we're pretty happy with it. I think the biggest thing that we can still see is our freshmen are going to continue to mature, and as they do, we're going to continue to get better.
It's going to be fun to watch. I know conference play is going to pick up here in about a week, and you've got a rematch of the conference championship game from a year ago in your next go-round. So enjoy the time off. Congratulations on the championship.
Thank you very much.
All right, final score today, Baldwin-Wallace 72, Loras 60. The Yellow Jackets are tournament champions. The men's championship coming up next on BWYellowJackets.com. All right, let's wrap it up and give you some final numbers before we sign off for good. Baldwin-Wallace with a 12-point win. And Jeff, I think in that second half when BW was tested at points in the third quarter, they were able to weather the storm every time Loras put anything big together.
All around great effort by both squads today. You can't take anything away. That's definitely something you want to see in a championship game. Like you said, with Coach just there in the post game, Loras kind of did shoot themselves, turning the ball over 20 times, going out 10-0. That was pretty much the difference in this game. Otherwise, this might be coming down to a buzzer beater or in the last minute, looking at a great game. What a way to end the women's side of this tournament.
Therese McMahon, 18 points. Lori Obendorf, 17 points. They were both named to the all-tournament team along with Worcester's Kylie Orr, who played a tremendous game today in a losing effort, and Tashina Mitchell from, drawing a blank, from LaRoche. She was also named to the all-tournament team. On the BW side, Hannah Fecht had 11 and 7 today after a double-double, 22 and 15 yesterday. She was named to the all-tournament team, and the 2016 BW Holiday Invitational Tournament Most Valuable Player was Mackenzie Colombo. Double figures 2 days in a row, including a game-high 19 points in today's championship game. Her senior leadership means everything.
She's definitely the general on this team. They don't expect her to score. They never have. She's not been that player, but she's turned herself into that player over her tenure. Been a starter since she stepped foot into this gym and has never let it go, and that's what she needs, and she's playing out of her mind as an offensive threat this year.
Well, it's been fun to watch her go. and we'll certainly enjoy watching her compete throughout the Ohio Athletic Conference schedule. The Jackets are 11-0. Loras falls to 6-6, and they've got a long ride back home to Iowa. Adrian and Madai warming up as we speak. That's the men's championship game and the final game of the tournament here in 2016. We'll have that one coming up for you shortly on BWYellowJackets.com.